Hey, son. I wanted to talk to you real quick. Is that cool?
Yes, Dad.
So, son, I wanted to talk to you about something kind of difficult. I found a bottle of liquor in your room. Would that happen to have been yours?
Hell no.
I mean, I feel like it couldn't have been anybody else's.
Wasn't mine.
Are you sure?
Nope.
Nope, you're not sure, or nope, you are sure?
I'm sure it wasn't mine. It was Mom's. He's a big drinker.
Son, you know drinking isn't right, don't you?
I think it's just right for me.
Fuck, don't make me laugh. So, son, I think I'm going to have to ground you for about a month.
A month? That's plenty of time for me to drink. Don't look in my room anymore.
Stop making me laugh. It's making me laugh too much. Son, I'm sorry to have to do this to you, but I'm going to have to ground you.
Well, you know what they say, Pops. 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, ground 4.
There are always consequences to our actions, son, and I'm going to have to ground you for drinking.
Ground me? Fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna play Fortnite and drink.
Welcome to Video Hell Show. My name is Frank, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about family talk about drinking.
Want a beer? No thanks. Coach would really get on my case.
Family talk about drinking is exactly what it sounds like. It is an instructional video for parents that is meant to teach them how to deal with their kids and the issue of drinking alcohol.
Our Family Talk About Drinking video offers advice from professionals and situations that demonstrate how effective parenting strategies may help.
Or as the woman that you'll come to see in the video here refers to them as alcohol beverages.
Alcohol beverages. Experimentation with alcohol beverages.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone refer to it that way, but we'll get to that. One of the very first things you'll notice is the video is hosted by a very elderly woman who looks as though she had a stroke.
The best way to do this is to actually sit down with your teenagers and have them come up with the refusal strategies they would use.
I'm not going to lie. It's very sad, but this woman is not looking well. One side of her face is a little droopy. It made me a little bit uneasy to watch. I felt really awkward when they were doing close-ups of her, and I feel kind of bad saying that, but it's just a fact. They probably should have gone with somebody a little bit more youthful. I don't mean to be ageist, but yeah, she was old. So in the very beginning, they go over a couple of the key factors and rules to go over with your kids.
Start early. The prime time to reach impressionable youngsters is between 9 and 11. Set a good example. Be factual when you discuss the topic of drinking. Don't damage your credibility by using scare tactics. Set firm rules and guidelines. Let your children know where you stand when it comes to drinking.
The paramount of which seems to be don't lie to them. Make sure you tell them about genuine experiences, which I think is actually a really good piece of advice. You want to make sure that you're not bullshitting them. You don't want to bullshit your kids because they can smell bullshit from a while away somehow. And if you give them or tell them about inauthentic experiences that didn't actually happen to you, they won't really want to listen, especially if they find out that you weren't telling the truth, which makes a lot of sense. You probably should not lie to your kids about these kinds of things. Don't exaggerate, don't make up stories about people dying that didn't or any of that crap. I know a lot of people are really prone to doing that because it gives more gravitas to the situation, but resist that temptation to lie to your kids because if you do, you're a scumbag. One of the other rules, actually hang out with your kids. Shocker, if you spend time with your kids, they're not going to turn into drunk, degenerate pieces of shit. Hang out with your kids. Make sure that they're doing the right thing by actually spending time with them. I know they suck and you probably regret having them. Another rule, know who the hell your kid's hanging out with. I know my mom used to make a big deal of that, and it honestly, it makes a big difference. I think you really should know who your kid's hanging out with, because if you don't, I mean, what if he's hanging out with like Keith Richards and Janis Joplin, or like Kid Rock? Your kid could be out there blowing lines with Keith Richards. You really don't know. So it makes sense to make sure you know who they're hanging out with. All right, so this woman keeps referring to drinks as alcohol beverages.
Alcohol beverages. Alcohol beverages.
Alcohol beverages.
What the hell?
Alcohol beverages.
Alcohol beverages. I don't know who puts it like that. I certainly have never called anything maybe an alcoholic beverage or some liquor or some alcohol, but not alcohol beverage. No one says that. I don't know who wrote that. I don't know why she insisted on saying it. And she said it like 5 times. Couldn't make heads or tails of that. Everybody they put on camera looks like they robbed a nursing home for. I don't remember any of these people's names. It doesn't matter. The woman, the secondary gentleman from Anheuser-Busch that comes up to talk. This video was created by Anheuser-Busch to make sure that parents knew how to talk to their kids about drinking, because I guess they had to cover themselves from a liability standpoint, which makes a lot of sense. If you're going to offer a product that can kill people, especially kids if they accidentally drink it, you want to make sure that you cover yourself and make a video like this and a packet like that to cover yourself from the liability of if something like that does happen. Allegedly, I guess I should say. So the secondary guy that comes up on screen, he's monotone. His entire color, his lips, his hair, his face, everything is the same color.
It's important not to present information to your child like you're lecturing. It's better to look for what we call a learning moment.
Everything. Makes everything on this guy is the exact same color. From here to here, he has no definition and change at all. It's all just one color. His lips are the same color as his skin, is the color of his hair. I mean, if you put the right lighting on him, he would have just been like a human drawing. So again, one of the main points that they make in the video is do not lie like an asshole to your children about this. Hello, lady. My cat lady, everyone. Hello. So this woman that's talking to us at the end of the day looks like she escaped a mortician and who coated her in funeral makeup, which is absolutely horrifying. So then we cut to this mother talking to her son about the dangers of drinking over his math homework.
How was school today?
Okay. We started a special thing today in class because it's Drug Awareness Week.
And the acting is mwah.
Well, we learned that alcohol is a drug, and that alcohol is in beer, wine, and liquor. Mom, I've seen you drink wine and Dad drink beer. Does that mean you take drugs?
I guess they're doing their best with what they have. These are TV level or commercial level actors at the end of the day. They're not really anything special, but at least they got some work, so that's cool. During this conversation, and just before with the old man who had no color change to his face, they keep bringing up that alcohol isn't as bad as crack or heroin.
While there is no such thing as responsible use of illegal drugs, such as crack cocaine or heroin, over 100 million American adults consume alcohol beverages, and most do so responsibly.
They keep specifically going to crack and heroin.
Some drugs are against the law for everyone because they can cause serious problems, like heroin or crack.
This is the early 90s, so crack is still a pretty big thing in inner cities. I don't know why they decided to go with that, but I guess the people at the Anheuser-Busch legal department are like, what's the worst thing we can think of? I guess it's crack, Johnson. We're old and white. Why not? Crack and heroin. Make sure that, you can drink, but just don't do crack and heroin. Couple little nice camera movements in the kitchen there. Nothing too special. I guess they had to make it look interesting. As interesting as possible with the subject matter. There's also a little funny, it's healthy to drink message just scooted in there.
Another key distinction between alcohol beverages and illegal drugs is that several recent medical articles have reported certain health benefits among adults from the moderate consumption of alcohol beverages.
Just slipped in there under the rug. They say there's one of those, it's healthy to drink in moderation. They make sure they say that taking anything to excess is bad.
Abuse of any product, sugar, salt, aspirin, alcohol, or even too much apple pie.
Even too much apple pie. Well stated.
Well stated.
Heroin and crack. Oh, 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 yeah, oh, oh. Then they have this little skit where these two kids are at an island in the kitchen, and they have this little skit where they drink a little bit of whiskey. Mom comes home.
That tastes real funny. Are you sure that's how you make a drink?
Well, I guess so.
Feel real dizzy all of a sudden.
Bobby, I'm home.
Oh, hi, Pat. Where's Bobby?
He went to the bathroom, Mrs. Thompson.
What are you guys? Pat?
And catches them in the act. And kid says, ooh, I'm sick and dizzy from drinking alcohol. The other friend is feeling okay because I think he's a little bit older. So the mom scolds the two kids for drinking this whiskey. This woman comes up on screen that has one of the craziest outfits I've ever seen in my entire life. She has this like toothpaste blue or like this like seafoam green, I don't know what color you want to call it, this like very light blue, insanely oversized jacket on with massive shoulder pads.
Find out what the child has been drinking and in what quantity. And observe the child carefully after the incident to make sure there are no after effects. After you've made sure that the child is okay, don't attempt a detailed discussion with the child right away.
She looks like she's got a football outfit or football fucking pads on under this thing. And a crazy scarf. This woman is dressed, I don't know, man. It blew my mind. I've never seen anything like this in my life. She looked, it was the most 90s thing I've witnessed in a little while in terms of outfits. It's like there were 80 feet of extra fabric in her clothes. If she walked outside in a strong wind, she would definitely be carried away into the sky and never seen again. That's how much clothing, how much extra fabric was on this woman's body. It's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. She looked like a fucking sail. Never seen anything like it. I don't know why she would need that much clothing. She looked like one of the Jedi monks with extra robes on. She looks like she stole this outfit off a much bigger person somewhere. Like she went to a ladies' plus-size store, beat up a much bigger woman because her clothes were all dirty, and took them. And that's what she went to set on that day. So there's a scene where these two kids are caught having whiskey at the kitchen counter. Mom comes home, scolds the one kid, sends him upstairs because he's feeling all drunk and woozy, because that's what whiskey does to you, I guess, if you're a kid. The older kid and his friend gets a little scolding, and she says, I'm going to call your parents. The scene does not go down like it would in real life. I feel like there would be a lot more actual shouting in any of these situations. I feel like there would be a little bit more anger on behalf of the parents most of the time. I don't feel like conversations go, I know the conversations with my mom and dad didn't necessarily go down. Let's say half and half. Half of them were probably pretty kind and nice, and then I would get caught doing bad stuff like this one scene shows, and there would definitely be some yelling. So the mom was a very understanding person, and then they cut to a scene after which where the mom and dad both sit down at breakfast with the son who got caught drinking with his friend.
So Bobby, why did you and Pat decide you were going to drink yesterday afternoon?
I don't know. It's just, I guess we thought it'd be cool.
They have a conversation about what happened the day before.
We've talked about drinking before, and we've told you there are very good reasons why kids shouldn't drink, remember?
Yeah, Mom. You and Dad said that kids weren't big enough to handle alcohol.
And I want to know, where the hell are any of these people from? These accents are insane. I really can't place it. Maybe the Midwest, upper northern Midwest somewhere. So then we get to the part of the video where parents are taught to explain to their kids what to say when the kid brings up the very obvious fact of, hey, Mom and Dad, you drink, why can't I?
Research tells us that children look to their parents as their primary role models. And we also know that parental example is one of the major influences on whether or not a child will decide to experiment with alcohol.
And we spend a little bit of time with this family who has a conversation with their daughter.
Take the coffee out if it's ready. Everybody wants some except Uncle Jack.
I wish he'd eat something. He's hardly touched any food since he got here.
Uncle Jack is drunk, isn't he?
Well, Rebecca, I'm not sure he's drunk. But Uncle Jack has probably had more to drink than he should have.
The dad is wearing the craziest Bill Cosby sweater I've ever seen. And honestly, to me, he looks a little bit like Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Actually, he kind of looks like if Carlton and Bill Cosby had a kid, even though that would never happen. It kind of looks like that, and he lent them the sweater. And, by the way, Dad's got a major bulge going on. I don't know. There's a big-ass dick bulge going on in them pants. Daddy's got a big old dick. There's a massive bulge in his pants. So then we get to another stupid-ass little short skit or scene, another little scene of kids, teenagers at a party, and they're drinking beer. They're just generically drinking beer. This is a movie, or excuse me, this is a video by Anheuser-Busch. You feel like they could have gotten them some cans, but I guess they didn't want to implicate their company by name brand with teenagers drinking alcohol, so they just called it beer. So we have a little scene where a dad talks to his teenage daughter about drinking and whether or not she should do it.
Erica, your mom and I have talked to you ever since you were a little girl all about drinking. But now that you're in high school, maybe it's time we listen to you for a change.
I mean, there are definitely certain people you want to like you. But that doesn't mean you have to do something you don't want to. I mean, I think that if they're really worth being friends with, They just wouldn't care about something stupid like that.
So what would you do?
So we have this scene where a dad talks to his daughter about the dangers of drinking, his teenage daughter, because I guess they're stepping it up in age as we go down the road here. The dad and daughter scene is a little weird in that it just doesn't seem like there's any dad-daughter chemistry, if you catch my drift. Gets a little too familiar for my taste. In one of the scenes where the daughter is at the party, if you'll notice in the background, there is a velvet painting of dogs playing pool. Not dogs playing poker. Not the dogs playing poker that we're used to, but dogs playing pool, which is exceptionally trashy. So this is at some trailer park house, probably somewhere in Florida. I was guessing earlier where this was. I'm gonna guess Florida now. And yeah, so it's actually a pretty funny video. There's a lot of really shitty acting in it. Its pretense is funny. The fact that that a beer company feels like they have to put out these guides for whatever reason, legal or otherwise, is pretty funny. You'd figure it'd be more a public service or public safety thing from the government maybe, but no, it comes directly from a company, which I guess isn't so bad, but at the end of the day, interesting in terms of its motive. At the end of the day, I don't feel like any of the conversations that went down with the kids in these videos would really go down like this in real life. It's also staged. It feels very staged. There's no resistance on behalf of the kids. It feels like they just are expected to take this message very well, that they really aren't interested in drinking, but they may, and that it's going to be easy for a parent at the end of the day to tell their kids not to drink. I feel like it's a lot harder. I'm not going to lie, I did some underage drinking as a kid, more than my mom would probably like me to admit. And it wasn't her fault. At the end of the day, she did absolutely everything that this video suggested and more. And I'm gonna tell parents out there that if you're watching this video and you're a parent, your kid's gonna drink, and you better hope that they make the right choices while they're out there. The likelihood is that they will get their hands on alcohol, because if they want to, they're gonna, and that's for pretty much anything. You know, a lot of people are out there would suggest like they're drinking in front of you and then you can keep an eye on them. I wouldn't advocate that either. I don't even know what the hell I would tell you to do. I think you need to know your own kid and decide what you need to do when you need to do it, because nobody else can guide you or tell you better than you would probably know at the end of the day. That said, if you feel like you need a little bit of guidance, I don't know that a beer company is the right place to go for your messaging about not drinking, no matter who it is to or not. Because they're handing out this video, it's Anheuser-Busch branded, and you know you're going to think about that, and it's just more marketing for them. Family talk about drinking. It's a video. Thanks for watching Video Hell Show. I'm going to have a couple more interesting instructional videos. I'm going to have a lot more of these coming up. As much weird stuff as I can possibly find. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching. See you later.
Jimmy, there are all kinds of drugs, like heroin or crack, but only for adults.
Okay.